Well, hey everybody, it's the 21st day of December 2025, winter solstice and the beginning of Yule. I'm Jan Erickson and this is As Above, So Below. Well, I hope you had a good week. I hope that we'll see what the next week might have in store here. We'll pull the rune from the Elder Futhark bag for the above side. We have Hagalaz. Let's see, what did we have? No, I guess not. I was thinking we had we had Isa on the 30th, so that was another Norn rune there. Hagalaz is the ninth rune of the Elder Futhark. It looks like a letter H with a slanted line there in the center. It's considered the witch rune. It's transformation within a fixed framework. It can mean hail. That can be, or not hail, but the celestial ice egg rather. Oh no, I guess hail. That's hail. The celestial ice egg. Again, it's a Norn rune, so it's very transformative. It's considered the witch rune because of that ability to transform within a fixed framework, to sort of influence positive change. It can be about protection and luck, and you can use it in trance work. So something transformative you're either going to do or something transformative that happens in our lives next week. Let's see what we have here. There's water, there's air, there's fire, and there's earth. So we have Pur. Now, Pur and its complement Puella are the youthful energies of the Geomancy set. Pur would be the little boy energy. Puella would be the little girl energy. This would be Puella or Puea. Where do we have Pur? Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Here's Pur. So this would be Puella, and this would be Pur. If you've had boys, I've had two boys, you know that they can be very curious and lack impulse control. They want to go do things, and maybe they leap before they look. And so, I mean, both energies, whether it's the little girl or the little boy energy, they're both scattered focus. You can say about that. But they tend not to get into too much trouble with it. It's just that you can get ahead of yourself. And so when you're in this transformative experience this next week, whether you're the one invoking it or something else is doing it and you're experiencing it, you want to be careful how you approach all of it. You don't want to have a scattered focus. You want to make sure you have all the facts before proceeding into whatever it is that you're going to do. There could be a situation where it just needs some shaking up, and Hagalaz could be indicating that. But you have to be careful that you understand the whole picture before you take that leap into whatever it is you're going to do. And if it's the other way, if it's something else that's is transformative in your life that you're not initiating, then again, be clear on what it is and don't assume something that when you don't have all the facts. And so there's a little bit of impulse control that needs to happen with whatever this transformation is all about. So let's go ahead and I'm going to shuffle just a little bit more, and we will take 3 cards. If we need more, we'll take them, but typically I stop with 3 unless I feel like there's one that needs a little bit more information, and so I might draw one to give more information about another card, or if it just seems like there's something missing, like we're missing a piece of it. And so let's just see though. So I'm going to cut the deck and take the lower half and take 3 cards. Well, we have 2 cards from the Major Arcana and 1 from the Suit of Swords. Where is my calculator? Let's go ahead and do the numerology. I said it was 9, number 9 for Hagalaz, 3 for the Empress, 4 for the 4 of Swords, and 15 for the Devil. So that's 31, and 3 and 1 is 4. So we're going to have a 4 numerology, which is structure, foundation, grounding. It's again, if with Hagalaz, if you're transforming something or influencing something within a fixed framework, that's your structure. So I think the 4 numerology of the reading, I'm going to do it one more time to make sure that that's what it is. But if it is, then I think it's saying, look, you've got this structure, you've got this foundation, whether you're talking about values or principles or whatever. You don't want to really try to mess with that. So whatever transformation, whether you're invoking it or it's being, it's existing and impacting you, it's probably not going to change your values or your principles or the structure or foundation of your life. But there may be something that shifts, hopefully in a positive direction. But let me do this one more time. 9 plus 3 plus 4 plus 15. 31. Okay, so we have a 4 then. So let's see where this goes. Now, the thing about the Empress, you're talking about the mother aspect of things. You're talking about fertility, love. She could be successful in her life, in say she's a business owner or something. You see the wheat growing here. There's just all this abundance around her. Essentially, you have the Fool that takes the leap into form. Then you have the Magician who creates the structure, the body, all of that, the structure of everything. Of your physical reality. And then the High Priestess brings in the subconscious realm and the intuition and higher consciousness and all of that into your awareness. And then the Empress gives birth to creation. And note, it's not the Lover's card, to where you see the man and the woman potentially doing that. She gives birth to creation. I think it's in the stanzas of Daizan where it talks about we rest in the Great Mother breathes out the universe and we rest in the Great Mother's breath until she decides to inhale us back in. So in a sense, the Great Mother is represented, I think, by the Empress in the Rider-Waite. She's actually, although you can't see it too well, she's actually pregnant. So she's pregnant with possibility, not just with in terms of her own creation. So it tells me that in all likelihood, the invoking that transformation with Hagalaz is probably coming from you. You're going to invoke some kind of creative transformation in your life this next week. That's what it's suggesting. That's what it, and especially with the Empress here, it's not like something's happening to her. She is the creator of her reality, and the fertility and abundance and the love and compassion that she expresses into creation. Here we have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is an interesting card because it is showing like you've got somebody in a casket and with whoever it is on top, actually in some kind of stone form on top. And I say mausoleum because that looks like stained glass there that you would find in something like that. It kind of looks like you've got a woman right here and then a child right here. And so this could be her husband, the father of the child, and they're watching over him as he rests now in his final slumber, right? But when you're talking again about 4, again, foundation, about letting things settle, and a sense of grounding about it. There's also pragmatism and practicality and dependability and reliability. It's that very earth type of thing. And so with the Four of Swords, to me, it's about letting your thoughts settle to where you can actually, and again, that's important if you're kind of getting excited or anxious or want to get into a hurry about accomplishing something or creating something or transforming something. You get excited about it and you want to move, right? Well, no, with poor, you're really trying to make sure that you dot your I's and cross your T's, and taking a little bit of a intellectual respite, a thought respite, if you will. Let your thoughts settle and be certain of the playing field. Be certain of what you're creating this next week. And lastly, with the Devil card, here again, we have the inverted pentagram, so it's a focus on reality, on physical reality. This would be in the normal presentation, this would be spirit, and so the point is focusing on spirit. But here it's focusing on physical reality and the ego. Here you have the same type of stance with his arms as you do with the magician. Only in the case of the magician, instead of having a torch here, he's got a wand or some kind of tight scroll maybe in his right hand pointing up to heaven with it's the as above, so below type of drawing energy from spirit into physical reality as he creates the body and the world and the existence for the individual soul that comes into form. And so here it's just a little bit different type of experience, whereas the magician and the high priestess are all about the spirit that's coming in, and the fool coming into this reality to have some kind of an experience. This is the ego. And this is being a slave to desire. You see slavery represented here by the chain around each neck and tied here, affixed to this ring here on the post that the devil perches on. It's all about, with the devil, you're talking about basically being a slave to desire and having ego control the situation, being pulled in a lot of different directions instead of being able to focus on the task at hand for the greater good. In other words, with the devil, it's not like that. It's really a very ego-based vibration, and you have to decide, well, what in this moment of creation for myself, what am I going to do? Is it going to be something that's solely to get me what I want, or is it something that's for the greater good? The people in your family, for example, if you have a partner and children, for example, is what you're going to create this next week, will it benefit them? So you're not in a service to self kind of experience. You're more of a service to others type of a mindset here. And that's why with poor, having your impulses under control makes a difference, because with the devil card, it's suggesting that they might not be. All right. And because it's a major arcana card, it is a reminder to be on that soul or higher consciousness level when you're doing the creating this week, or the transformation of something this week that needs it, basically, that needs to be elevated in that higher consciousness place, that type of vibration, versus the lower ego vibration that unfortunately this world is, we're tethered to it. And if you don't regard yourself as something other than that, then it makes things very difficult. In other words, if you're focused on spirit, if you're focused as to who you are, instead of the figment of your imagination or the illusion of separation and ego-based decisions and reactions, if that's where your focus is, then life becomes a real struggle. Whereas if you're observing all of it and you're seeing, okay, what am I going to learn from all of this? It's a different mindset. It's a different feeling that you're going to go through. And it makes controlling the impulses that much better and that much easier. And I think with the devil card coming in, I think it's a reminder, a higher self reminder of, remember what you're doing this for, that it's not to be a slave to desire or a slave to the ego or a slave to reaction, but in fact, you need to be in that higher vibratory, higher self, higher consciousness, soul level of observation and experience that this wonderful transformation could essentially create, you see. So whatever is going to happen this next week for you, make it something that's transformative, that sets you outside the normal type of experience you might have, or the normal choice you might have. See things from the higher consciousness awareness of seeing the whole thing, or as much of it as you can possibly come up with, instead of just being purely reactive. Being purely reactive, your impulses are not under control, and you're a slave to the desire instead of invoking higher consciousness. It's a very different type of an experience, and we talk about that a lot on here, where you're the difference between higher consciousness and the lower vibrational ego reaction to things. They're not the same. And so with Hagalaz being such a powerful rune, again, one of the Norn runes that the Norns were the goddesses or the sorceresses or the witches or the some kind of beings that helped Odin understand his higher purpose in life through the runes. And so you're essentially looking at the same type, at least in my opinion, the same type of energy with the runes, with the Elder Futhark runes, as you are with the major arcana in tarot. So again, allow your thoughts to settle with the Four of Swords. Be clear on what your purpose is, and have it not be an ego reactive type of purpose. And then create something wonderful for yourself and for others in your life if that's what this is about for you. Kind of a nice way to start the light returning with the winter solstice today and Yule. You get that light of spirit come in every day, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, right? And it leads you into a direction that is better than where the ego can take you. So anyhow, that's it. I think we did it. Have a wonderful day today if you're celebrating Yule. If not, if you're celebrating Christmas, have a wonderful Christmas. And come back again on next Sunday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.